Hey guys, how's it going? My name's John, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my to-do list network software that I created. So if you want to get a hold of this software, try it out. Go to my sockets network repository. So in this repository, I have a bunch of little mini projects practicing the Python sockets library, which is like a networking library. So you can do like client server stuff, peer-to-peer stuff. So what we're going to do is clone this repository. Real quick, guys. So for this project, I'm using VirtualBox to create a virtual machine on the side. That way you can see it's basically like having two computers side by side, and one of them is going to be the server and one of them is going to be the client. So once you've cloned my repository, first thing you need to do is go into the client machine, and you want to make sure you have the right host name for your server. So for example, on my machine, if you go into here, you go to sockets network, client server, to do, and then to do client.py. For my machine, my host name is actually John Francis for my server. All right, guys, so here on the screen, what you're seeing right now, on the left side, I have my Windows, here's just my Windows computer. Here's the folder for my sockets network repository that I cloned from GitHub. On the right over here is my Linux virtual machine with the same folder. I had to clone it on that as well. So what we're going to do to run this is you go into, we'll start with Windows. Click on this, go to client server to do, and this is the project we're going to be showing today. And then what you're going to do is right click and do open in terminal. Okay, now we're going to go on the right side, and on my Linux virtual machine, I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, wait, I got to go into the folder, client server, to do. There we go. Now I'm going to right click and open in terminal, and it's going to create its own terminal. Okay, so now to run each program. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use my Windows computer as the server and then the Linux computer as my client. So first of all, I'm going to go over here, and you have to run the server first. So what I want to do is write Python to do server.py. This is going to run the server script on my Windows machine. So I press enter, and it's saying waiting for connection. So I have to go over now on my Linux computer, and Linux has slightly different. Instead of Python, you have to write Python 3, and then you do to do client.py, and that's hopefully going to connect them. So press enter. There you go. So if you see on the server side, it says connected. And then if you see on the client side, it's giving me some options. So let's go through each of the options. Option 1 is view to-do list. Option 2 is add a to-do item. Option 3 is mark a to-do as complete. So let's start with 1. Let's view the to-do list. It says to-do list is empty. So let's add something. Let's say, what would you like to add? Post this YouTube video. Okay, now it's asking me what's my input now. So I'll just try viewing the to-do list again. And now it has that on my to-do list. Now let's add a couple more. Let's do take out the trash. Let's add walk the dog. Now let's view everything again. You can see down here, we have the 3 things to do. Post this YouTube video, take out the trash, walk the dog. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to try is 3, which is mark something as done. So let's say that I already walked the dog. So which to-do did you complete? I'm going to write walk the dog. And now it says, what's your input? Let's view the to-do list again. And now there's only 2 things on it. If you can kind of see, post this YouTube video and take out the trash. And then another thing you can do, if you don't want to view, add, or mark, if you just want to quit, if you just type in the word quit, it'll say quitting, and then it breaks the connection between the client and the server. All right, guys, I'm here on my Windows machine now, and if you notice, if you guys know what this means in Visual Studio Code, this M means it's been modified. I didn't go in and modify this to-do list.txt file. If I click on that, if you guys see, now we have 3 new to-dos that we just created in that demonstration. Post this YouTube video, take out the trash, and then walk the dog has been marked as done. All right, guys, so let's do a quick walkthrough of the code, what it looks like. So basically what this project is made up of is just 2 files. We have to-do server, and to-do client. So let's go through the server first. Port, we're using 60,000 for this. Now, for your computer, there's a lot of different ports that are being used right now as we speak. But everything above like 1,000, 2,000 is probably not being used. So I just chose 60,000 for that one. And if you notice, the client and the server have the same port number, which is important. So first of all, we have this region. I just defined some functions to read and write to the file, this to-do list.txt file. And then down here, this whole block of code is opening a socket. And so what this is going to do is connect the client and the server. So this is the server side. It's going to like listen and wait for the connection. And then once the client sends over that it's connecting, it'll connect, accept the connection, and then this is kind of where the program starts right here. We'll skip this, we'll come back to it. But this block of code, this while loop, it's just going to keep repeating and asking the client for input. So if the client says quit, it's going to break. But otherwise, if it says 1, it's going to run this to-do list function. If it says 2, add a to-do. 3 is complete to-do. So these functions, send, add, and complete, you go up here in this region, these are where I define those functions. All right, guys, here we are on the client script. And first thing you'll notice is it's a similar thing. We're creating a socket and we're connecting to the server. Here's our while loop, kind of a similar thing. If the server sends, here's your to-do list, it's gonna receive the to-do list. If the server sends over, enter the to-do, add to-do. And then if the server sends over complete to-do, then complete to-do. So if you look up here, again, I have a region for the functions. And this is kind of the mirrored functions, like even I can show you guys together. Put this on this side. All right, guys, just to show you side by side what these functions do. The server has a send to-do list function, and the client has a receive to-do list function. And these functions are very similar. They're like mirrors of each other. Like, for example, this is where the server sends something, and then this is where the client receives that thing. And I tried to label it by first, second, and third. Every time that I had a server client interaction, I tried to label it as first, second, or third, just so that you can look on both files and see this happened first, then this is the second, and that's the third, so that you don't get messed up. Because if the server sends something the client wasn't expecting or vice versa, at least in my program, it gets it messed up pretty quick. So there you go. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment if you have any ideas how to improve the code. And if you would like to check out my GitHub, I'll put a link down in the description. So thanks for watching and see ya.